Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into the brilliant framework from the book Make Time by Jake Knapp and John Zeratsky. It's a system that's all about focusing on what actually matters every single day. So, does this question hit a little too close to home? If it does, you are definitely not alone. I mean, it's pretty much the theme song of our modern world, right? A world that feels like it's been perfectly engineered to keep us busy, distracted, and just watching our time slip away. And this is what it looks like, right? Our days just feel like this, a calendar crammed with busy. We spend our days just reacting, to emails, to meetings, to those endless notifications. And we race through our to-do lists, but then what? At the end of it all, we're just wiped out, wondering, okay, what did I do today that was actually for me? Well, the authors of Make Time have a really interesting take on this. They argue that this feeling, it's not really our fault. See, we're basically caught in the crossfire between two super powerful forces, and these have become the default settings for our lives, just constantly yanking at our time and our attention. So on one side, you've got what they call the busy bandwagon. This is that cultural pressure, the one that's always screaming productivity is everything. You know the vibe. It's that weird pride we take in having a totally overflowing inbox, a calendar that's just a wall of back-to-back meetings. The whole belief is that if you're not filling every single minute, you're not succeeding. And if you dare to slow down, whoa, you're not just resting, you're falling behind. And then on the other side of the coin, you have the infinity pools. These are the apps, the social feeds, the streaming services, the ones with that bottomless pit of content. They're basically our reward for being so exhausted from the busy bandwagon. And they're designed to be irresistible, to make it super easy to just zone out. And in the process, they absolutely devour every last bit of our attention. So you've got these two things just pulling you in opposite directions. But hang on, what about you? What do you actually want to get out of your day? The key here isn't about finding more productivity hacks or just trying to have more willpower. Nope, it's about a completely new system for being intentional with your focus. All right, let's really get into it. So, in this masterclass, we'll finish breaking down the problem, walk through the Make Time framework step by step, and then we'll get you set up to create your very first highlight. So, the big question is, how do we actually fight back against the busy bandwagon and these infinity pools? Well, the book lays out this beautifully simple framework. It's just 4 steps, and you repeat them every day. And the best part? It's not about being perfect. It's all about the daily practice. And here it is. What's so great about this is just how simple and elegant it is. Highlight, you pick one main thing for your day. Laser, you block out distractions to actually do it. Energize, you charge up your body to power your brain. And reflect, you take a second to see what worked and tweak the system. That's it, simple, right? All right, let's dig into the first and honestly the most important step, choosing your highlight at the start of each day. This one decision is a total game changer. It sets the tone for your entire day and flips you from being reactive to being proactive. So, what exactly is a highlight? It's that one thing you really want to make time for. It's your personal priority for the day. Basically, you're asking yourself, when I look back on today, what's the one thing that will make me feel great? And the sweet spot for a highlight is around 60 to 90 minutes. That's long enough to get something meaningful done, but it's short enough that you can actually squeeze it into a busy day. Okay, but how do you pick one? The book gives you 3 simple ways to look at it. First, there's urgency. Ask yourself, what absolutely has to get done today? Then there's satisfaction. What's going to give me that biggest feeling of accomplishment when it's done? And finally, there's joy. What will I just plain enjoy doing the most? And you don't have to overthink it. Just trust your gut and pick the one that feels right for today. Okay, so you've got your highlight picked out. Now for the next big challenge, actually carving out the time to do it. This is where you go to war with those infinity pools. And the goal here is to get into what the authors call laser mode. Laser mode is basically that amazing state of flow, where you're just totally locked in on what you're doing. And here's the secret. It's not about having some kind of superhuman willpower. No way. The real trick is to change your environment, to build little walls that make it harder to get distracted in the first place. And this is a perfect example of that strategy in action. One of the most powerful things you can do is create a distraction-free phone. Now, hold on, this doesn't mean you have to go buy a flip phone. It's just about intentionally adding a little bit of friction. So this means deleting those social media and news apps that you open without even thinking. It means logging out of your accounts in the browser so you actually have to stop and think before you sign in. And for sure, turning off almost all of your notifications. I mean, those little red dots are literally designed to hijack your brain. The whole point is to clear off your home screen so your phone goes back to being a tool instead of a toy. You're just making distraction inconvenient. But look, choosing a highlight and getting into laser mode, that's not just about managing your schedule and your tech. All of that takes a really basic resource, energy. And that brings us to the last two parts of this whole system, which are all about charging your battery so you can power this engine. So the Energize step is all about taking care of your body so it can fuel your brain. The book has a bunch of really simple, kind of caveman-inspired tactics. I love this. Things like just moving your body every single day. Even a quick 20-minute walk does wonders. Or optimizing your caffeine. This one's huge. Wait about 60 to 90 minutes after you wake up before you have that first coffee. Why? Because it lets your body's natural morning energy peak and then fall. So the caffeine gives you a real boost instead of just getting you back to baseline. And of course, making sleep a priority by turning your bedroom into a cave. You want it dark, cool, and quiet. And then finally, at the very end of the day, you reflect. Think of this like the scientific method for your own life. It's what makes this whole system personal and what makes it stick. And it's so simple. You just take a few notes. Did I make time for my highlight today? How was my energy? Which of those laser tactics actually worked for me? This little check-in is the key because it helps you tweak your approach for tomorrow. It turns the whole thing into a custom tool that just gets better and better for you. So when you put all these pieces together, what you have is this really powerful daily loop. You choose a highlight, you go into laser mode to get it done, you energize your body to keep the system running, and you reflect to make it better for tomorrow. And this simple loop, this is the engine that's going to take you from a life of just reacting to everything to a life of real intention. I mean, it's a huge shift in how you think about your day. You stop letting your time get eaten up by everyone else's priorities. You know, the endless emails, the constant pings, all the demands of that busy bandwagon. Instead, you get to start your day with intention and actually design the day that you want to have. So, I'm going to leave you with this one question to get you started. What is the one thing, just one thing, that you want to make time for tomorrow? What's your highlight going to be? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to see. And hey, if you got a lot out of this masterclass, make sure you subscribe for more. Thanks so much for watching.
That wraps up today's review. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. See you next time.